Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. This is iAllegedly. And I've got a really good one for you today because we're going to talk about banking. And this summer, it's not going to be warm. We're going to have a banking credit freeze, and it's going to be an absolute disaster. We all have that to look forward to. So I'm going to cover all that, plus a bunch of the national news that's going on right now. Before I get into it, please take a second. Please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. And also, this is it. This is the last reminder of our silver giveaway. To celebrate 200,000 subscribers, now we're blowing past it with 207,000. We had custom silver coins minted from one of the larger mints and had them made for you. I had a few hundred of these made, and it's awesome. And we're giving away the first 50 right now. This is a collector's item, completely commemorative silver, 1 ounce pure silver coin. You can win one, the 50. You get it in this nice little collector's box, and you get my mug on it too. So sign up, guys. Go to danssilver.com. This is the last reminder. This is it. It ends on Monday, May 30th, and we will announce the winners on the 31st after the drawing is done, okay? So everybody's eligible. There's no purchase necessary. We're going to ship it to you for free. I'm paying for everything myself. I don't care where you live in the world, okay? If you win one, you're getting one, okay? So there's that. First things first, let's cover the banking. Problem with banking right now is that everybody thinks from week to week that things are bad, things are good, it's up, it's down, whatever. You know, I'm sick of this, and the thing that spurred this video today was good old Bank of America. We do not use regular words anymore. People are not homeless, they're unhoused. Ted's not a booze hound anymore, he's chemically challenged, okay? I'm sick of it, okay? Bank of America does not want to talk about the recession turning into a depression, and that they want to call this extended weakness, okay? Which, you know, I was furious when I read this, because what you're living through is an extended weakness in the economic climate that we're in right now. That's insane, guys, okay? We need to be able to tell things and say things how they really are right now. And we are in a recession. People are spending less money. There are going to be massive layoffs around the world throughout every single industry. It's not just going to be banking. It's not just going to be mortgages. It's going to be absolutely everything is experiencing a huge crunch of people. After 2019, we started to have an economic turn, and then 2020 happened, and they just threw money at everything, and they needed people to have jobs. Well, now, this is the greatest job market ever, but right now, guys, they're saying how there are more jobs available than ever, which I don't believe, okay? But what you're seeing with these banks is the banks are in more and more trouble right now. Let me give you an example. There is a thing called fractional banking. What that means is that when you put, let's say you get a check for $100 and you put it in the bank. We used to think that, hey, my $100 is just sitting there. It's not sitting there. The bank uses that to lend money to people for their investments, to sell things, to make other money. And the fractional banking was set up in such a way that the banks had less and less responsibility to the depositors. Now, with that, what that means is at one point it was, you could go one-to-one with the banking, then it was 75%, then 50%, then 30%, then it was only 10%, guys. They had to maintain, if you put in $1 million, they had to maintain in that bank $100,000, okay? Sounds great, okay? But it has slipped to where it's less than 1% right now. 1% that the bank is responsible to hold. Now, again, guys, I always tell everybody to get themselves prepared for economic calamity. And a few things that I was reminded through as I'm going through emails and things like that, where, one couple, I always have cash on hand. I always tell people, if you live in a metropolitan area, have quarters. Now, people in the rural areas, why would I have a roll of quarters, Dan? What's the point of that? Well, I'll give you an example. This couple had their ATM card compromised, which their credit card was compromised too, which was through Bank of America. They had it all at one bank, which is fine. If that's what you want to do, I recommend multiple banks, but they did that. But guys, they go to drive to the bank to get it straightened out. Didn't have money for parking, but Dan reminded us to have a roll of quarters. So they had the Dan quarters, which they weren't my quarters. They put them in their glove box, which you should have things like that. You should have spare cash on hand. You should have spare money, because think about this. A bank run is when people go to get the money out of the bank, and the bank's not going to have enough money on that day to service everybody. Most likely your own branch, okay? Most likely the individual institution and all their branches are not going to have that. Banks are doing things right now that are absolutely scary. In January, they had a symposium with 10 countries involved for cybercrime. We covered this in January. That should scare you enough, because they're planning on a cyber attack that's going to shut down the banks for an extended period of time. ViStar Bank, that recently in Florida, people couldn't get to their online banking for 10 days. That should freak everybody out right there. And again, that doesn't do it. But the fact right now that the banks are trying to use shenanigans to try to describe things are not really as bad as they say they are. Inflation has peaked. No, it hasn't. If you've been to the store, things have not peaked. Now, I get people that send me, sale items, and my favorite one recently was Diet Dr. Pepper Dan's on sale at HEB. Okay, fantastic. Okay, that's great news for you. But the banks right now are in huge trouble, and all the banking sites that I read all talk about making sure that depositors know their limits. In other words, if you have more than 250 grand in one institution, you can have multiple accounts, like for example, checking and savings, and they can both be insured. But you need to communicate with these people and make sure that you're covered, because again, the insurance is only as good as the check it's written from. So if you have FDIC insurance for a bank that's out of business, the likelihood of getting your money anytime soon is terrible. Now, I recommend credit unions. I recommend the smaller fintech banks, but I also recommend having cash on hand. No, you don't have $250,000 at your house. Don't be ridiculous. I'm going to have people say that, but again, you have to rely on the system somewhat, but you've also got to protect yourself. What would you do if you didn't have access to money for 10 days, 20 days? What about a month? What would you do? Okay? You should be freaking out at that point. Now, the possibility that the banks will have a problem, I totally believe this completely. It's not just gloom and doom. When you have people like Warren Buffett that throw their hands up and completely get rid of a company, he just did this with Wells Fargo. So he's done with Wells Fargo, and that should make everybody sit there and go, maybe there's a problem with Wells Fargo. Yeah, there is. Now, I've seen nothing but problems, okay, with everybody that writes me. And onesies, twosies, 3 days here, 5 days here, U.S. banks not communicating with people, little bit of everything. But the lack of customer service and the lack of caring for people to be inside the branch should concern each and every one of us. There's a man that wrote a story to Market Watch and said, hey, what do? I went and put $1,000 in my account, and they accidentally put $10,000 in the account. So this guy gets a $9,000 deposit that he's not entitled to. What he does is go to the bank and say, hey, listen, you guys made a mistake. And first of all, called the bank, okay? Told online banking, or through the phone, told them, went to the bank, told the manager, still there. 30 days later, the $9,000 was still there. So he said, listen, I'm really getting concerned about this. So he slid it into the $9,000 into his savings account, because it's in his debit account. He didn't want it to be, something to go wrong and to be swiped to where they were chewing into that $9,000 where he's responsible for it. Still can't give the money back. But the person that he wrote at Market Watch said, basically what you've done is a crime, and you're transferring the money, and it's on you that you don't financially take care of this and give the bank their money back. How's he supposed to do that? What else would you do at that point? Now, have you ever had money put into your account that you weren't supposed to get? Let's ask that question. I've seen that before. Had it happen to me before, to where I had a $23,000 deposit put into an account. It was only for a day. And it was funny because it was taken in and taken out when they caught that. I also, when I was dead broke, okay, a couple decades ago, I had a weekend where I made a deposit into the account and go in, the teller that I knew, made the deposit, and okay, $600. Make this deposit, start using the credit card. Then I get an email, okay, hey, there's an overdraft charge. I'm like, that's weird. I just put money in the account. I'll deal with it on Monday. Well, Bonehead at Wells Fargo put the money in the wrong account. And the entire weekend of me shopping, there were 9 overdraft charges because I used the card. I bought coffee for $1.75. I bought gas for $20. I went to dinner. I went to the movies. Okay, did all this stuff that weekend. Ding, 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 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, okay? I go back to the branch on Monday and hey, Dan, my bad. That was my mistake and I put it in the wrong account. Sorry about that, man. I hope it didn't cause you any inconvenience. Well, it did. And again, I was broke at the time, so there was that. Then I go to the manager and the manager says, listen, you need to learn to manage your money better. You're not fiscally responsible. We're not going to pay those fees. You should have money in the account before you use it. Again, when I set her straight and showed her the deposit slip with the wrong account, that I don't know, ass clown, I forgot his name, did. Oh, well, that's different. We need that back. That's the bank's property, and we need that back to give you the credit. No, you don't, especially after you insulted me. So, needless to say, we're going to give you this money back one time, and that's it. How ridiculous is that? Now, that's who we're relying on to service all this stuff, guys. And there's a lot of people out there. Read the comments. You get people out there that some have hundreds of thousands of dollars. And, hey guys, Saturday yoga. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's people out there with millions of dollars that don't know what they're doing. And again, with your 401k, with the stock market, with you thinking, hey, it's the bottom. And I've just had dozens of videos sent to me in the last 24 hours about how inflation is done and the stock market has hit a bottom. You believe that? We're out of the economic woods right now? You really believe that? Man, I think we are just, this is again, third inning, okay? A lot of baseball left, guys. A lot of baseball left, okay? The banks right now are going to have a problem because of the rising interest rates. They're going to raise them. Your credit card bills are going to go up. People are borrowing themselves to oblivion right now. And with borrowing themselves to oblivion right now, they cannot afford to purchase things. There are people out there that are borrowing against their homes still, but they're paying higher interest rates. And some of these people are using the HELOC loans, which are the credit lines, to do that. And they're paying more for the credit lines now than they did for the first mortgage. And again, when it adjusts higher and higher and higher, these people are going to have nothing but a problem, in the coming months when interest rates go up, because interest rates are only going to go up right now. So the banks are not making money. The Fed right now is in such a huge predicament because prior to 2020, they had about $1 trillion in their balance sheet. Now they have $9 trillion. They got the great idea. See, this is the thing I don't get. Since 2008, they didn't fix anything. They did just push it down the road, okay? They still had checks in the checkbook so they could write checks. It's that simple. So they pushed everything down the road, didn't fix it, and now we have a much, much bigger problem. But you're going to call this extended weakness, not a depression. This is going to be an economic depression, guys. It really is. And if you don't think that, you are just wasting your time and kidding yourself. There are going to be massive gas shortages. Already happening. Scottsdale, Arizona sent me an email yesterday, Dan, out of gas. Back east, Massachusetts has got problems. Jersey's got problems. Okay, that's just here in the States. What about the rest of the world? Well, that's just pockets, Dan. Scottsdale's crazy. No, Scottsdale's a high-end community loaded with rich people, okay? And they can't get gas in certain areas right now. The banks are going to have problems, and a credit freeze will make it so that when you go to a bank, Your ATM card will not work. When you go to use your credit card, it will not work. You will not be able to go into a bank and withdraw funds during this time until this gets sorted out, guys. So again, what does that mean? What does it mean? How long is that? See, how long is a depression? It's probably 6 weeks, okay? No, guys. This is going to be so much worse than last time because it has been pushed down and pushed down and pushed down and pushed down. Now, you have to have an institution. You have to pay your bills. These fintech companies which are financial institutions that are basically online, don't have branches. The most popular one is a bank called Chime, which if you've watched this channel before, a lot of people got PPP loans and have money with Chime. If they see anything questionable, they freeze the account and hold the money because you have not met their terms of service. Now, think about that. There are people that have written me that have had their money frozen from a Chime account for over a year and still can't get it back. Okay? It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. You have to have something to pay your bills. If you have a business, you have to have a business account to pay your bills. Chime didn't like the PPP loans because people would have $1,200 deposits. Then a guy got $8,000 and they said, wow, this is a suspicious deposit. From Bank of America? Okay. A suspicious deposit. So, nothing has been fixed. Nothing has been worked on. The stock market's problem solved, Dan. Bottom. We've hit the bottom already. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Don't know what I'm talking about. I don't care if you think I know what I'm talking about. I just need to tell everybody to heed caution on everything that's happening right now because this is going to get insane. This is going to get so much worse. And if you have faith in places like Wells Fargo or any other financial institution right now, you need to be ready for the inevitable problems that's happening. And again, don't take your money out of the bank. Don't take your Social Security out of the bank. I've told people, just make sure you have cash on hand. Make sure that you're ready if something happens. Most people that are on Social Security don't have to worry about huge amounts of money in the bank, but you need to be able to pay your bills. You need to be able to get access to funds readily, okay? Put it in a safe place. Figure it out, okay? That's gonna happen, and I always tell people that. The credit unions have to show you their financial, you can ask for it, you don't have to show you anything, but you can ask for a financial statement on a credit union, and they will tell you, okay? It's worth doing. This place is beautiful, okay? Whenever I talk money, I love to come up here, okay? Specifically. But this is beautiful. This is the Montage Resort, which is absolutely insane. It is incredibly expensive, and I bet you a room here tonight is probably $1,500 right now, this time of the year. But hey, it's worth it because you get all these moms and other women and guys doing their hot yoga, okay? It's hot yoga because I says it's hot yoga. It's not hot yoga with like temperature. They're just hot doing yoga. You know what I mean? Anyways, you guys get the gist. So, get yourself ready, guys. There's a lot more to cover. Don't forget to sign up dansilver.com, guys, because this is it. This is the last week, and a lot of people have signed up for it. And it is a limited edition collector's item that will be worth a ton. I've had people reach out and say that they should be sold as NFTs. I've had people reach out and tell me that we should auction them off. We're not going to do anything nuts like that yet, okay? But you can win one of 50, okay? So sign up there and share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys. Does this stuff concern you? Because it totally concerns me. Here's a reality that people don't want to look at, and that is this. The Fed cannot fix our broken banking system. They just can't. They're part of the problem. Now, if you read some of the comments, people say that this is being done intentionally by the Fed, and history will only let us know if that's the case. Now, think about everything that's happening right now. Around the country, there are pockets of hot real estate areas where the real estate is now getting lowered in price. Well, that will never happen, Dan. It's crazy. It's hot in Boise. No, Boise is one of the areas dropping 20% in their prices. Great story that's included in the video description about these hot markets that are turning the corner right now. And why is that? Okay? Well, it's just the way it works, and sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's not. It's great in my area. Consumer sentiment, okay? The University of Michigan created something called the Misery Index. The Misery Index relates to how people feel about the economy right now. The Misery Index is at a 10-year low at 58.1%. Okay, they give it a rating, a number, 58.1. It went down from 59. So right now, this is a mess, guys. It's an absolute mess, but people don't feel good about this right now. People don't feel good about spending money. They don't feel good about gas prices. You know, this is only getting worse. The problem with the trucks that deliver things, the semis, is that they have these exhaust limitations and this DEF treatment that people cannot get. It's in short supply. It's going to make trucks not be able to run whether they had fuel or not, and they don't have the fuel. Then I get people that write me and say, hey, we got to switch to hydrogen, Dan. Forget electricity. Okay, there are hydrogen fuels here. Gas cars here in Southern California. Toyota had one that was insanely expensive, okay? $64,000, I think is what the car started at for this little four-door. It was smaller than my old Prius, okay? But that being said, it was incredibly expensive. A guy filled up his, got 3, cubic feet, or however they sell hydrogen. Some scientist out there will correct me and tell me how you get it. But he spent $84 to fill his tank a year and a half ago. So not cheap to do that. We're going to face massive layoffs in this country. There's a great chart that I have where there's going to be millions of people get laid off from their jobs. And these are not kids. These are not baristas. These are not the people that worked at the closed Jack in the Box. It's not that. These are head of households that are losing everything right now to go out and they don't have a job right now. Whether it's in finance, whether it's in construction, whether it's in manufacturing, it doesn't matter. Every industry right now has major problems to it. You know, we're seeing a problem with crime, okay? Great story that's included below where certain people are targeting elderly women. Again, ladies, when you go out and shop, be aware of everybody. Everybody should be aware of their surroundings at all times and make sure that you're safe. Try to take somebody with you to shop, but they're doing this in grocery stores now, okay? When they shop alone, they're targeting them, ripping off their purses and things like that. It's absolutely horrific that that's happening. The thing with pilots, I talked about this, you know, U.S. Air and I think it was American Airlines or anyways, there was another airline that was talking about lowering the requirements for the pilots to be able to fly commercially. And here's the fascinating thing. There was an accident, I believe it was 2007 or 2008 in Buffalo, where a plane had crashed, and they said that the pilot needed more training. He would have been able to get out of the fall, and that they did. So they changed the requirements. Think about this: from 250 hours to 1,250 hours, which was a lot, guys. It really made it so that the pilot requirement is way up there. Then they put age restrictions on people, which I got to be honest with. The guy's 60, 65. They get closer to these ages. And you get somebody who's fit, who's working out, who's taking care of himself, should be able to fly a plane, okay? To, you know, not 80, but should be able to fly a plane. But this was fascinating because I have people that are pilots that have written me and said, Dan, that's what this is about. But this is making a huge pilot shortage because as they open things back up after the health crisis, they don't have enough pilots that have the flight time. So how do you get more flight time? I don't know. But the problem with it is that airline tickets today are up 1/3 from what they were 2 years ago. 1/3. Okay? It's crazy. So they're cutting routes. They're making it less convenient. You have airlines that used to have, multiple routes a day, like Orange County to San Francisco, back and forth. It's got 2 now, okay? So share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys. Want to know what you think. You have to be prepared for this. But again, to rely on the Fed to fix things, they've already said they're going to raise interest rates twice. And the stock guru guys that write me, damn, that's it. That's the bottom. You just witnessed it. Maybe, guys. Let's hope so. I just hope everybody's happy. If everybody makes money, if everybody's safe, and you guys are doing the smart things and living a good, productive life. Okay, but right now, I just don't see inflation curbing. I don't see gas prices going down. In fact, they're going up in my neighborhood. So share your thoughts on all this stuff. Let me know what you think. I'm going to finish this video with these last couple stories. And the first one is Ford Motor Company. Ford Motor Company is beating Tesla to market with their Ford F-150 Lightning. That is an electric truck, okay? And they're so happy with this and the delivery of it that, they're stealing reservation holders away from Tesla, and it's going to hurt Tesla's market share. You can read the story below. I think it's insane, guys. I just cannot wait for the meme. That's a picture of somebody making a joke. Okay, I cannot wait for that. When you've got the F-150 stuck in the middle of nowhere and nobody's got juice for the guy, and he's got to have to get towed out because the thing will be dead. Now, the big difference is if you're off-roading and you run out of gas and some guy, hey man, what's going on? You look like you're stuck. I'm out of gas. Oh, here's some gas. I'll help you get going, okay? Do you have a charge? Do you have a generator with you that would be able to support my Ford F-150 Lightning? No, stupid, I don't. I have a gas-powered car, okay? There's that. Now, the next thing is Elon Musk steps forward. Great article out of the New York Post where he's talking about how the economy needs to fail. We need to have people go bankrupt right now. People need to go out of business. Businesses need to go out of business. People need to fail, and they need to wash this clean right now. So whether you're an Elon Musk fan or not, he believes that there needs to be a cleansing of the economy and a cleansing of small business during this time, to where people that shouldn't be in business need to go out of business. The one thing that the PPP loan program taught me was there were a tremendous amount of people that reached out for advice that are, especially restaurants, okay, that are so upside down, owe all their suppliers money, behind on rent for 10 months, just horrific financial situation, and think that they want to go out and borrow $250,000 to get themselves out of it. Lunacy, absolutely insane. So that being said, that's what people are experiencing, and Mr. Musk seems to think that people need to clear themselves up. Sorry for the rough camera movement right here, but I'm going to remind you guys one last time. Do not forget to hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget I have a Patreon channel. You can get more access to me if you'd like. You can sign up for that. The link is below. We have an email list, but you will join the email list if you register to win one of the Dan Silver coins, and you get it in this beautiful, cool box like we're getting engaged. You can hold it and cherish it forever. It's fantastic. Again, limited supply. Only the first 50 are getting the box, guys, so it's kind of a cool thing to get that. And again, guys, it's just so bitchin'. It just turned out so good. It's so choice, and I'm so happy with it. Just gonna show you guys this thing. Look at this thing. Da-da-da-da-da. It's beautiful. Looks a lot like me too. Okay, onward and upward, guys. I will see you guys very soon. Don't forget to go to dansilver.com to sign up for that. This is the last warning that I'm giving you guys for this. I love doing this. I do it. I work 7 days a week doing this. My family knows how hard I work. My friends know how hard I work at this. But I just want to let you guys know I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I really do. That's why I spent a small fortune to put these coins together and wanted to do something totally different. So please understand that you guys are important to me. Reach out with your questions. I do my best to answer as many as I can. The Patreon people take precedent. They do get more access to me. Onward and upward, guys. I will see you guys very soon, and a lot of cool stuff happening. There's more announcements. There's gonna be a big party, guys, for the 200,000, and the details on that will come out soon, and how you can be invited to that. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.